now that the time has come, Providence be praised, for us to busy ourselves about the work of liberty. This faction, their passions yearn and thirst for more war, for more conflict. And yet, my friends, we live in a time of great hope, a time of great opportunity, when the vision of a few can become the future of many. We live in a time, my friends, when the sword need not be the only authority that guides us. We live in a time, my fellow patriots, when knowledge, enlightenment, and intellect, and yes, peace, can overcome our most barbaric instincts. And this is something General Neville understands, but I fear too many of your fellow citizens out here on the frontier do not understand this. And yes, we realize, President Washington and myself, we realize what is driving this lack of understanding. Perhaps it's simply living on a terrain as treacherous as this frontier. Perhaps it's simply a lifetime of survival, an innate instinct to feed off the land, with no time to feed off knowledge or light. Perhaps it is simply the dire economic straits that General Neville has worked years to resolve, while others, such as, well, David Bradford, has exploited these passions, exploited these fears, exploited this bloodlust of survival for his own power. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we in Washington have been left in an intractable situation, and General Neville is caught in the middle of that intransigence. Make no mistake, my friends, we must preserve this grand experiment of liberty. Make no mistake, my patrons, we must preserve and embrace this great opportunity that history, guided by the omniscient hands of the Almighty, has given us. We cannot allow personal ambition, local ambition, to overwhelm the needs of this nation and the future of our children. Ever since we concluded our revolution against King George III and his taskmasters, we have struggled, as you all know, to find the right form of government. In many ways, we're still struggling. Even as we stare down the debt incurred by the war, even as other nations are watching to see if we succeed or fail, and some of those nations are looking to swoop in upon us and eat us alive should we fail. As Secretary of the Treasury for the federal government, I feel the burden of this debt perhaps more acutely than even President Washington himself. Which is why, in 1791, Congress, at my prompting, enacted something that none of us wanted to do, but felt compelled to do: an excise, a tax on whiskey and other grain crops. Our purpose was threefold. Number one, pay down that debt, $70 million, ladies and gentlemen. Number two, arm the militia out here on the frontier. We realize you are unprotected out here. We realize that you are vulnerable, as David Bradford and General Neville has asserted with us numerous times. Arm that militia not to start another war, but to be prepared in the event of one.